You think about this week's outlook going into NQ and ES.
That's a beautiful question. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I have not looked at the chart, so there's going to be just straight up raw knowledge, no hindsight. Let me share my screen. All right. So as you can see, I haven't even gotten on the charts. These are still like last week's levels, but all right, I'll get to you, Lisa, afterwards. Wow. All right, so let's get started with the weekly outlook. We're gonna start on ES since I mainly only trade ES, but I mean ES and NQ go hand in hand. So as you can see, we're about to complete, or I mean we've completed the market maker buy model that I've actually was telling my students last week. We had a classic expansion week where we had a actually it was a consolidation reversal for ES. So typically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we consolidate. If we go on the daily, the candles are going to look very wicky. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday right here. Let me get rid of these lines right here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday consolidation. Thursday makes the low, and typically there will always be a higher time frame point of interest. Now, this higher time frame point of interest was obviously the daily fair value gap right here, where Thursday came down, took out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday low, which was basically the accumulation. Thursday manipulated it, Friday expanded higher, completing the market maker buy model, which was this high right here. Now, going into this coming week, I'm going to be paying attention to, I believe if we go on the 4 hour, I do have this buy side liquidity marked out right here, 44.39. So if you guys trade ES and you guys want to go on your own charts, you guys can, very much do so. Just go on your own charts and just mark out these levels. I had this one marked out since last week, and looks like this is our draw. Not only that, but short term, if we focus where we are right now, we have a 4 hour fair value gap right here. And what does this look like to you guys? What is this right here? We had a sweep of a low and we expanded higher. What is this formation here? Does anybody know?
Is it be the start of a breaker?
Exactly. Perfect, perfect, yes. So that's a breaker right there. Let me mark that out. Alrighty, so I usually mark out the bodies on a lower time frame. It would be the wick, but it's kind of discretionary up to you which one you want to do. But just keep in mind this is your breaker, so you can just mark out the whole thing. And this breaker lines up with your 4 hour fair value gap. So you can expect maybe a classic bearish expansion week where we have Monday Judas, Tuesday high of week, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday expansion lower, maybe to clear or to draw to a daily fair value gap from here, right? So we have multiple actually. We have this one, we have this one down here, and then we have the one we already tapped into. The case, regardless, the case is we're gonna have a retracement. Expect a retracement. So regardless whether the bias is higher long term, lower long term, we need a retracement. A retracement into a higher time frame PD array, whether it be the breaker, the fair value gap, or just to sweep previous week's low. So we have buy side here. All right, but as for sell side, what I like doing is if we start on the daily, all right, on the daily, if we have no fair value gaps, the nearest one, I like thinking, near term. The nearest one, we already tapped into it. All right. So more than likely, what usually happens if we're already close to a draw on liquidity, what Monday will do is we're gonna instantly on Monday you're just gonna have an expansion. I'm sure you guys have seen this before, where you guys are like, okay, Tuesday high of week, Wednesday high of week. Sometimes Monday is the high of week, just like last week. notice how before Tuesday and Wednesday were made, if we just pay attention to Monday, which is literally right here, it was the low of the week, right? A lot of people are like always expecting a Tuesday, Wednesday low of week, which if you guys watch the Market Maker Primer course from ICT, he talks about the weekly bias and he talks about the New York session and the London session, how on Tuesday and Wednesday during New York and London, you're going to expect the low of week or the high of week. That's where a lot of people get faked out and their bias are incorrect. So you always have to be paying attention to different you have to have an array of profiles. For example, here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday accumulation, Thursday manipulation, Friday expansion. It can be the same for this week. We can have a Monday high of week, maybe we don't get a retracement, and then Tuesday we draw into the higher time frame PD array. You know, Regardless, we need to say a retracement. So we have two levels now. Now we have two draws. Okay, we're kind of sitting at equilibrium here. If we take the higher draw and the low draw, we're sitting literally at equilibrium. Market already opened. I mean, if you want to trade Sunday, go for it, but I'm not. I don't trade Sundays or Mondays. Mondays typically because I like to study the Monday profile. Monday tells me how Tuesday's going to look. If Monday, for example, let's say Monday already has a high, then I can expect Tuesday to retrace, right? But let's say Tuesday doesn't retrace. I mean, let's say Monday doesn't expand and Monday does this, then Tuesday we can expect this, right? So always study Monday's um, price action. That will give you your bias for Tuesday and then from Tuesday to Wednesday, and that will ultimately develop your weekly profile. 007 said, I'm thinking we break to the upside and hit the 50% of the daily order block retracement. Oh, let's check that out. So we break to the upside. Correct me if I'm wrong, 007, but we break to the upside, right? And you're talking about this order block right here, right? Or if I stand corrected, please correct me.
Is this the daily? I'm
Th
gonna run back up to the office now and get on my computer.
yeah, yeah,
Is
this
that the daily chart?
this is the daily, yes. Which it does make sense, yeah. So, we come up, we take buy side liquidity, tap into which is basically your optimal trade entry if we take the long-term high to the long-term low and we take our optimal trade entry. There's a lot of lines on my chart right now, but just pay attention to these three right here if I highlight them. Right here, this is your optimal trade entry from this right here. So this can just be a retracement into optimal trade entry to head lower. All right. There's many scenarios here. Or what else do you guys see for a bullish scenario? Can anybody name this formation right here? Just another example of a
Higher high, lower low, higher high. That's another breaker.
exactly perfect, a breaker. Now, typically breakers indicate a change in the state of delivery. And what a change in the state of delivery is price going from a bearish order flow to bullish order flow. All right. In other terms, you have very simple, like this is like very low level stuff. You have this, and now you have this, right? Very simple stuff. So a breaker, in other terms, is a change in the state of delivery. So we need to be paying attention to two things on the higher time frame. If you guys want to talk about higher time frame, we need to pay attention to this bearish order block right here, which I'm sure is the one you were talking about, right, 007?
Yes, I'm talking about the. So we're basically inside two bearish order blocks, really. So the Thursday, September 14th candle and the Tuesday, September 5th candle.
Okay, there you
So
go.
basically on the 15th, we wicked into that order block on the 5th. And then on the 10th yesterday, we wicked into that, the Tuesday the 5th order block. I'm thinking we're gonna wick into, not too much of a retracement, like you said, either a Judas or a turtle soup, right?
Exactly.
15,626, 15,6,230, induce everybody to go long, and then ultimately just bring it down.
Exactly. Yeah. So NQ is a bit more. Oh wow. Okay. So notice NQ here. Big difference actually. So on ES, notice how we're just barely, running into the order block right here. On NQ, it's very deep into it already. We're actually about to take the September 1st high. The September 1st high isn't up to not up until up here on ES. So we may even have some higher time frame SMT going on where NQ takes this high and ES doesn't, right? So we have maybe something like this. Oh wow, excuse me. And then these two highs right here are SMT now. And that will give us an even, just a little cherry on the top for maybe a bearish bias. So just this in itself is giving us what? By us saying we want to see higher prices, what bias should we have going into the beginning of the week? Bullish, I guess you can say a bullish bias, right? Now, you don't want to be married to the bullish bias. Like I said, you want to study Monday's trading. That's why I don't trade Monday, like I said. Study Monday's trading. If Monday tells you, okay, we have expansion higher, then that will give you a bias for Tuesday. If Monday retraces, then that will give you a bias for Tuesday as well. Maybe higher, maybe lower. Now, okay, so for ES, let's have some official levels here. So on the daily, let me get rid of all this. All right. And we're going to mark out one very specific daily fair value gap here. We're gonna mark out on ES September 20th, this daily fair value gap, mark that one out. That one's gonna be of importance because that one is quite literally with optimal trade entry, I believe. It is right here. I believe even higher. Yeah. So if we take the long-term highs, it lines up almost perfect with optimal trade entry. That one's going to be of importance, so do watch that one. All right, so for a bearish scenario, it would be that one. For a bullish scenario, pay attention to the order blocks. The order blocks will signify where order flow is headed. All right, so we're going to pay attention to this daily order block right here. All right, so I'm going to mark that one out blue, letting me know this is a bullish order block. And you can even just add order block to it right there. All right. So we can have two market maker models line up here, all right? So if we have a bearish expansion week next week, the week will look like this, right? Yeah, don't judge my art here. It's not the best. There we go. So the week will look like this, right? Tapping into the daily fair value gap. All right, and then we have a market maker sell model. But another scenario would be tapping into a higher time frame PD array. We have the sell side of the curve, and then an expansion for the rest of the week, and the buy side of the curve, right? Into the higher time frame. All right, so that's the daily. Let's zoom into the 4-hour. And what does the 4-hour tell us? All right, so if we focus near term right now, it also lines up with our breaker. How we had this breaker right here and we had this daily order block. So this also lines up with our previous scenario. And also do mark out this 4-hour fair value gap. This one is going to be of importance. When you're doing higher time frame analysis, I only focus on 3 time frames: daily, 4-hour, 1-hour. Mark out these levels and you'll be set. All right. Another level to mark out will be the previous week low. Okay, previous week low. And the previous week high. All right. Mark out these two levels. Price will most likely draw to these levels. All right, next week. Another level to mark out would be, oh, that's really all you need, yeah. Because look, notice Friday's candle. Friday's candle, the previous day low and the previous day high is also the previous week high and the previous week low. So these two levels are of importance. So near term, if we're focusing right now, this is important. If we go to the left, we have buy side liquidity here, like we mentioned, on the 4 hour. All right. Am I losing anybody? Does anybody have any questions so far as levels or anything? Or we're all on the same page? This is great. All right, perfect, perfect. Yeah, 007. I am hoping for SMT as well. That would be perfect. Little cherry on the top. That would be beautiful. All right, perfect. And don't think I forgot about you, Lisa. I'll get to your question after this analysis. What's up, Nabil? What up, what up? I would like your input as well on the on what you're looking at on the NQ, because I know you trade NQ, right? So right now we're doing ES. Once I get to NQ, we'll do the analysis and then we'll get your input. So let's go right there. All right, so the 4 hour is set. All right, so near term we have previous week high, previous week low. We have the daily fair value gap. I like putting D for daily. We're going to do H4 for 4 hour. All right, and then this is going to be our daily order block. Just a few levels. Keep it simple, guys. Alrighty. Going down to the 1 hour. When I'm on the 1 hour, this is going to be mainly your intraday levels. All right. So I like doing this before I start the day for my pre-market analysis. What I like to do is, let's say, overnight we trade, whatever. Monday goes by. Okay, we're about to trade. Let's say it's Tuesday morning. We're, looking for our levels. What do you look for? A lot of people get confused. A lot of people, they're like, where's the draw on liquidity? And this is what a lot of people struggle with. Without the draw on liquidity, you don't know where price is going to go. So you need a set draw on liquidity. So let's say price is about to open up right now and we're looking for a draw. All right. Always start on the 1 hour. Price likes to draw to the 1 and the 4 hour PD arrays. All right, and mark out two things: your nearest PD arrays and your nearest highs and lows, where price is. So price right now is at this level right here. All right, what's the nearest high? We already have that one marked out, which is the previous week high. The nearest low is all the way down here. So more than likely, we're not going to just instantly fall there, but do mark it out. Sell side liquidity, and what I like to do is I like to mark it out as internal range liquidity. All right, because this is internal. From this high to this low, this is internal range, and these are external range, right? So mark out your internal range, and then now we can focus on the PD arrays. What's the nearest PD array? We have a barely noticeable right here. If I zoom in, we have a 1 hour fair value gap. So let's actually mark this out to Monday's open. And this is actually most likely the draw for the overnight session. So if we were to, place a trade here where we're gonna look for a trade, I would expect price to draw to this right here, this darker shaded area would be your 1 hour. Look how it's drawing there right now. I would expect a draw here, and you can either take a trade for a short into the 1 hour, but I like trading off the 1 hour. So you would want to see price make a low, make a lower low, that would be your liquidity sweep. And then this would be where you draw your, this is a bit more advanced, draw your standard deviations. And, price comes into the 1 to the 1.5, you find your PD array, and you look for higher prices. That's a bit more advanced, but just focusing off of higher time frame PD arrays, always focus on where the draw is. A lot of people get confused on this. Notice how we're reacting off of this SIBI right here. Most likely the draw is this 1 hour fair value gap going into Monday. So pay attention to how this reacts, and you can go off of there. But that's kind of like your pre-market intraday trading plan. All right, so I believe we're set on, unless anybody wants to add anything to ES, are we all ready to move on to NQ? Because I believe a lot of us trade NQ here. Are we all ready to move on to NQ? We all have our levels for ES. Just give me a little thumbs up in the chat if you guys are ready. We're good. We're good. All right, for sure, for sure. For those of you guys that just joined, I am recording this, so I'll be posting it on YouTube. We can go over it if you miss anything. Alrighty, so NQ, a lot has gone on in NQ, very very large expansion. If we do take the I'm curious as to on the 4 hour, the last liquidity sweep. Okay, yeah, we're actually about to complete our market maker buy model here. It's most likely going to be one of these highs right here. This is the original consolidation. So what I like to do is I like to take the last leg that swept liquidity, take your standard deviations. All right. Where's the 4 lining up with? This is basically your reversal area. The move is going to end around this area, right? We're already within it, but look for a buy side liquidity. We have this one up here. It's going to be at 15,720. All right, this is most likely where price is going to draw to. And that's going to be on the 4 hour. Let's focus on the daily for now. And I do want to get some of your guys' inputs on this, but we have a beautiful breaker going on right here. So notice right here, NQ clearly having a change in the state of delivery. Mitigation block, which would be this one right here, was respected. This bearish order block turned bullish there, which on a lower time frame, in case you didn't know, this is a little tip. Higher time frame order blocks are lower time frame breakers. So notice, pay attention to this order block. That's a daily order block, right? On the 4 hour, it's a 4 hour breaker. And in case, I mean, I'm sure most of you already knew this, just a little tip, for your intraday trading. Maybe you're on the 5 minute and you see an order block. On the 1 minute, it's a breaker. Anyways, all right, on the daily, we have, let's mark out our, like we said, our nearest highs and our nearest lows. So nearest high would be our previous week high. Nearest low would be our previous week low. And once again, let's mark out that order block like we did on ES. It's going to be of importance. So let's mark this out. On ES, did I mark out the body? Yeah, I only marked out the body. You can do the wick if you'd like. I typically only do the body. You only do the wick when it lines up with a fair value gap. For example, right here, let's say this was a fair value gap, right? Notice how this wick lines up with this fair value gap. That's when you would take into consideration the wick. If there's no wick, the wicks are basically useless. They still have importance, but not as much as the body. So just mark out the body for now. All right, so now we have our order block. And what do we see here? We have an inverse fair value gap. If we look to the left, we have an inverse fair value gap right here. Now, I'm going to be paying attention to this. That is of importance for me personally. Maybe it just slices through it. Maybe it doesn't. I do want to see how we react off of that. So just mark it out. It's not something you should, be like, locked in on, but just take into consideration that daily inverse. All right, maybe we dig deeper into this breaker, but for now, just take into consideration that. All right, going into the 4 hour, just like ES, it's a perfect breaker right here. So let's mark this out. High, low, higher high, so we can expect a retracement, and that almost lines up with our daily inverse right here. So we can even expect just a price rejection off of that, maybe a Monday or Tuesday low of week, and then, maybe we get an expansion higher to this buy side liquidity. Something like that. So here, let me pull out the eraser here. Is everybody good? Any questions so far? I don't want to lose anybody. All right, I believe we're all good. So mark out the fair value gap. Just mark it out, It is quite large. We'll refine it on the 1 hour. Busy. I like putting the time frame because this matters. The time frame matters. The higher the time frame, the stronger it is, right? So if there's, maybe you see a fair value gap and you don't have it marked down. You don't know if it's a daily fair value gap or a 1 hour fair value gap. Obviously, the daily is going to be stronger. You're going to see price have a larger rejection off of it. So you always want to mark out what kind of um, time frame it is. Let me make this smaller font. All right, on the 4 hour, I'm not really seeing much. Let's look to the left here. All right, I mean, we're very, very close to this buy side liquidity. Okay, so if we take into consideration this order block here, and it would be this one right here. I believe that's the one you were talking about, 007, the 15th. This is the 14th. Yep, so it's this one right here. We have an order block and we're actually rejecting it right now. So that's a very, very good observation there. So I do believe, we have a rejection off of this, price respects it, comes down, and then we ultimately target the buy side liquidity, which would complete the market maker buy model on NQ. I am very heavy. I'm expecting a rejection though, something like this to happen. Something like this. Not, perfectly to the T, but, price draws lower, we expand higher. That's why, we got to pay attention to Monday. As for the 1 hour, so like I said, let's refine the 4 hour fair value gap. It's very, very large. Let's refine it on the 1 hour. So more than likely, we actually have three here that we can look for. We have one, we have two, and we have three. Now, which one of these three would you guys think is the highest probability of working? Top, middle, or bottom? The lowest one, third one, middle, bottom. I'm happy you guys didn't say top. Okay, I was gonna be very worried if you guys said top, but you guys are right. More than likely the bottom, obviously, because it's in discount. If we take the low to the high, I'm sure the 50% lines up with it. There you go. So more than likely the bottom one is going to be the one price reacts off of. It also lines up with this breaker right here. Pay attention to this right there. So more than likely price is going to want to come down to that. Alrighty. Let me get rid of this. All right. So yeah, you guys are yeah. Plio's, yep. Yep, lines up with the breaker, overlapping with the breaker. Yep, and it's in discount. Perfect, guys. Yeah, you guys are locked in right now. So, yes, it does line up. So, on the 4 hour, we can actually get rid of this and we can actually just, mark out this one right here and just, keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple. You don't want to have all these big gray shaded areas on your chart. I definitely don't. I like keeping everything clean. So just mark it out. And if you want, you could even mark out the top one as well. Just in case price reacts off of it. Just mark it out for Monday's open. If price slices through it, then you can expect the bottom one to work. Like, let's say price just straight up cuts through it, expect this one to work. But I'm sure you can still catch a trade off of this one because it does line up with a daily inverse. All right. Now this is when I would Amco said, so basically you see where price is, then find the nearest highs and lows. Exactly. Because not to say, not to be like rude or anything, like why would you want to be looking for a lot of people, like when they do analysis, I've seen like a lot of analysis like on Twitter. They're like, yeah, guys, mark out the weekly, like yeah, mark out the weekly sell side and mark out the weekly buy. Like, dude, like just we're not gonna be on Monday. We're not gonna be expanding all the way down here. All right, just mark out the nearest term levels and build off of that. That's called analysis paralysis. You have all these levels, you overwhelm yourself with all of this stuff, and then all of a sudden, you don't know what, you have different biases. You're kind of confusing yourself. So, oh yeah, yeah, CPI. Let's actually see what's going on with the calendar. Monday, okay, yeah, no news Monday. That gives you an even bigger reason not to trade Monday. Like I said, guys, I haven't looked at the charts, I haven't looked at the calendar. So I'm still kind of this is all like raw, not no hindsight basically. So Tuesday CPI on Tuesday. That's funny. Yeah, see, that gives you an even bigger reason not to trade Monday. So Tuesday is going to be your basically expected to be your Judas, expected to be your Judas for the week. You can even just you know, more than likely, let's go to the 1 hour. More than likely Monday. I bet you 100% it's gonna go like this. Monday's gonna tap into like some type of high time frame PD array, and then Tuesday at CPI, it's gonna target previous week high or previous week low, and you can basically frame a trade off of either of these levels. All right. More than likely, I'm expecting price to respect one of these, the daily, the hourly, and the order block, and I want it to hit buy side first, and then we can start framing lower prices because look at these equal lows right here. Those are like, oh, actually, those aren't equal lows if we NQ actually took that low, I believe. Yeah, it did. It took that low. On ES, it didn't. On ES, it's they're equal lows. So that's just a little example of SMT there. Anyways, yeah, expect CPI to. I mean, we're closer to the draw on buy side. Expect CPI to draw to it, or, or this is another scenario. CPI makes the Judas, taps into a high time frame PD array, and then we can catch the move higher. Regardless, you want a retracement and then you can get the expansion. Don't chase price. If Monday expands, you don't want to chase it because up here, you don't know where price can reject off of. You're gonna get caught. All right. I would like your guys' input. Yep, Tuesday and the time frame, daily 4 hour. Exactly, Amco. Daily, start on the daily. You know, look for any PD arrays. The PD arrays on the daily are gonna be your best friends. 4 hour, you're gonna start to look for the highs and the lows, and then the 1 hour, that's mainly like right before like your pre-market plan. You want to kind of prime it off the 1 hour. The 1 hour is gonna give you the sauce. So CPI being the Judas, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Now, build if you want to take over here, I'd like to see your input on the and if anybody wants to take over, I don't mind. I don't care. If you guys want to take over, the stage, share your screen, and give your analysis. I would love to see your guys's, because I like getting, all these inputs. I don't want you guys to, because your analysis is the best analysis at the end of the day. All right. If anybody says otherwise, they're dumb. All right.
Yeah, hey bro, how are you?
Doing good,
Can you
bro.
hear me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Um, yeah, I am right now on my phone. Let me see if I can share the screen.
All right, for sure, brother.
Give me 1 second.
Let's do this.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
Yeah, sorry for the mess. I pray
No,
this way.
no, you're good. You're good.
So, what I am looking at right now is at the daily. Let me remove. I'm expecting like on Monday close create a fair value gap over here.
That is a really good idea. I was thinking about that and I didn't want to mention it, but I didn't know if you guys thought that way. So, on the daily candle, you want to see it close and then create a fair value gap for Tuesday, right?
Yeah, that's what I am looking at right
Perfect.
now. And we have this order block. Like we could use the high of the week or the open of the order block.
I
But
agree.
it's because it's CPI week. I will not trust it until we are done with CPI to see where we can create along the week. Because
100%.
if the range we already took 20 days highs, 20 days look high, and the 40 days look high. The only one left is the 60 days look high, so that's my main target right now. After taking that high, I will look how price is gonna react. We're gonna keep expanding higher or we go lower. And at the 4 hours, bro, I have the same thing. Like I am looking at this fair value gap over here, overlapping with the breaker. It's the same analysis. Like
Perfect. I'm glad we have the same
but
analysis. That's why I like looking at your
that's all
guys'
different from yours.
analysis. Very nice. Very nice.
Hourly, same thing, bro. Like
We have the
I'm
same
not
thing,
gonna
huh?
lie. Yeah, we have the same thing. Like the only thing is like keeping me off is the X dollar like is going uh, is moving the same direction of indices.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna go over the dollar
That's
right now.
that's the thing. In the last 2 weeks, I wasn't training a lot because I always like to see the opposite direction they are going on. But the last 2 weeks we are moving together, so it's like I'm taking the when I enter into a trade, like I enter and I get out immediately. Like I don't want to risk it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, on the dollar.
And overall on the dollar, I am bullish. I'm still bullish, and especially like right now, we have an accumulation right here. Put a swing to the low side. We tap into a discount, respecting the consequent encroachment of this week here. Now we are pushing up.
Yep, I like
My
that.
target is gonna be that high over here, but I don't know. I'm gonna be like, be careful. Like, I'm not trusting anything until I see something clear.
Yeah, we gotta pay attention to the dollar after CPI, see where it goes, because I know the dollar is gonna react heavily off of that news. So I would like to see where it takes liquidity, because the thing about the dollar is once it takes liquidity, it likes to reverse like instantly. So maybe it might want to take like some sort of liquidity and then reverse.
Another thing here on the weekly, we have an inversion fair value gap over here,
Okay.
and we are respecting it right now. So I'm gonna wait to have a clear direction bias on the dollar. I'm still bullish, but right now I don't know. We could go lower or we go higher. But I like this power of free right now. Like we have accumulation, manipulation. The next move is gonna be the expansion to the upside, taking this price and liquidity.
Beautiful. Yep, I actually agree with you. I'm glad our analysis are in line. We correlate perfectly. That's that obviously gives confidence to us and like everyone else in here.
I'm going to say sorry for getting much, bro.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
We have this volume imbalance, so I want to see how the price is gonna deliver to next.
Beautiful, brother. I will thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate your input. Um, would anybody else like to share their screen?
Wait, one last thing, and we have a monthly
All
fair
right, all
value
right.
gap. Look how we are respecting.
Oh, yep. The consequent encroachment of it, right? That's perfect.
Yeah, and with the breaker, but we never tap into the breaker here.
Okay. Yeah, that
So
monthly is
let's see.
holding.
Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. Alrighty, guys. Here, let me share my screen real quick. Are y'all full-time traders? Do you live stream in here daily? Yes, I am a full-time trader. I do this Tuesday through Friday. Like I said, I don't trade Mondays, but typically on Mondays I focus on my one-on-one students, my mentorship students. Do we live stream in here daily? Yes. So last week I was kind of like just testing out the commentary, but I did like a little poll in the announcements channel saying, would you guys prefer the commentary or live streams? And basically everybody said live streams. So I'm gonna get back into live streams this week. Yeah, we live stream. I live stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If there's no news, I'll paper trade. If there's news, I'll live trade. Um, but yeah, I mean it's very, very simple. All right, for sure, brother. Yeah, I plan to do like a free one maybe like on Friday or maybe on Tuesday, depending on how CPI moves. But I plan to do live trade Tuesday. Let's go to dollar really quickly. I know we just went over it, but I know. Here, let me remove this. Alrighty. So, I did have this marked out last week. There we go. Alright, on the daily. Basically, I'm watching two things. I'm watching this order block on the daily, and I'm watching this order block on the daily because like I said before, an order block on a high time frame is a order block on a lower time frame or a breaker per se. So this daily order block kind of lines up with, I guess you can say, I mean, this whole thing is an order block, but we can just narrow it down to a 4 hour right here. So if we begin to break above either one of, if we begin to break above this, then target the liquidity void right here. You can target this right there. But if we begin to respect it, then you can target this 4 hour order block right here. And what I've noticed about the dollar, it respects order blocks more than it respects fair value gaps. It acts a little bit different, but essentially it's the same exact thing. Essentially it's the same thing. So pay attention, we're kind of in the middle between these two PD arrays right on the 4 hour. So pay attention to how it reacts off of these two. Alright, do we bounce off of this one? Do we keep cutting through it? Target sell side? Do we respect it? Target buy side? Pay attention to either one of these. These will tell you the story. Dollar isn't too important. It's important when you're trading intraday. It gives you a bias, but it's more important like intraday. You know, you want to see it correlating opposite to what the indices are doing. You don't want to see it, you know, following like Nabil said. If it's following the same, like if ES and NQ are going up and the dollar is also going up, something's off. You know. So maybe expect chop, maybe expect manipulation. You know, don't be very weary of that. So yeah, I mean, these two 4 hour order blocks. That's it for the dollar. Um, don't think I forgot about you, Lisa. Let's see. Yeah. So Lisa said, tell us about your Discord. So I started this Discord just out of it was me and my buddy. We kind of just started it just to journal our trades. But eventually I said, you know what? Why not build a community? And my purpose really is to like not go big per se. You know, everyone wants to go big, everyone wants to build a, you know, big following. But I want to mainly educate and I want to build independent traders. Like I already have 7 students that are funded, and my goal isn't to keep them forever because a lot of people, a lot of gurus, I guess you can call them, they want, I mean, they need the money really, so they want to keep them like in this monthly paying cycle, right? And it's not that, you know, I don't need the money, you know, money's cool to have, but you always want to build an independent trader. And what my purpose is to get you funded and profitable as fast as possible, whether it's through the one-on-one mentorships, whether it's through the live streams, because in the live streams you also learn a lot. Like you see what I see, and it's like it's very very different as to, you know, just watching the commentary. That's why a lot of you chose the live streams in the first place. But the purpose of the Discord is, you know, to build independent traders. To my goal is to essentially have a big chat like this one day where we have like a big voice chat and we're all sharing, maybe like 3 of us sharing our screens and people are watching us, and you know, where we can all just help each other. You know, we're all like big traders at one point, you know, and we just build like a big independent community where we all just know how to trade. We all know what we're looking at, not, and when someone has a question, we can just answer it, you know, like that. We all have the same mentality. So that's kind of like the purpose of the Discord. Like I have like this I guess you can say wolf mentality. We're all a pack. We're all like we all move as a pack. No one's left behind. That's kind of like the thing I'm going for here. Yep, yep, yep. But yeah, that was kind of like the analysis. Anybody else have any questions regarding? Oh yeah, Sony did. He said, "Is the dollar and the indices supposed to reverse at the same time?" Not like super super at the same time, not at the second, but you'll notice here. Maybe let's actually go to the 2 minute here. Why did I go on replay? That was an accident. All right, so what is the dollar doing right now? It looks like we're heading down right now on the dollar. So let's take this bracket right here. Right now we're heading down on the dollar, so we would expect ES to head higher, right? And that's exactly what it's doing. You see how price is heading higher right now? We swept this liquidity here, and we're heading higher. So this is kind of what you want to see in your intraday trading. When you're trading intraday, you kind of go back and forth. You're like, all right, what's the dollar doing? Dollar's heading higher. All right, so I would like to see ES head lower. And let's say you're in a trade right now and the dollar's correlating, that kind of gives you more confidence. Does that make sense? It's not something you take a trade off of, but it's just something that helps you gauge bias and like order flow. Yeah, like Double Low 7 said, they inverse on regular trading. Yep, yep, yeah, I'm glad we're all helping each other out here. But yeah, if you guys don't have any more questions, we can honestly call it a day here. I don't want to keep you guys from enjoying your Sunday with your family and friends. I also don't want, this is gonna be on YouTube too, so I don't want the YouTube video to be too long. Speak now or forever. How does it go? Alrighty. Nice meeting you, 007, of course, yeah. Hold your peace, lol. Yup. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, well, yeah, we're gonna call it a day here, guys. If you guys did enjoy, drop some hearts in the chat. I would appreciate it. Drop some hearts or whatever, an emoji. Yeah, if you guys did enjoy, just we'll tune in. I mean, I might just do a free live stream for you guys tomorrow, Monday, even though there's no news. Just to paper trade it, tape read. Yup. Yeah, but I appreciate you guys joining. I knew my tweet blew up, and it was just a joke, guys. Don't. A lot of people took it very seriously. A lot of hate. No, build with the eggplant emoji. That's crazy, bro. All right. I'm Pacific, so I'm West Coast actually. I'm West Coast. I'm PST. I am PST. But yeah, appreciate you guys joining, and sir, Florida. Damn, we're on opposite sides of the map. All right, guys. You guys have a nice rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you guys. I'll announce it. I'll announce it for sure. But stay active. I'll announce it, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.